Good morning and welcome to this super fun kind of crafty live stream that we're going to do. So, I'm not going to do like a super tutorial, it's kind of different to what I normally do. But like I mentioned, I've been so inspired by Abbi Kirsten's Flowerfest, Paper Flowerfest, that I end up making her projects every single year. They are literally some of my favorites. There's just something about her style and just like I don't know, the way that she teaches her crafts and it's just so calm and so chilled. I love it. Anyway, I've ended up cutting. I also love seeing how many of you are there in the chat. I've been checking out your messages beforehand. I'm just so grateful to have so many of you here from like all over the world. It's amazing. But yeah, I spent a little bit of time beforehand trying to cut out some of like I still got a bit to do. I ended up spending a little bit more time eating dinner than what I planned because it's 7 p.m. here in South Africa. So good morning to many of you because I think it's probably around like midday-ish. But for us, it's 7 p.m. So I cut out a bunch out of card. So these are her monsteras. I cut out a bunch of them. And I'm going to make like a monstera plant. So that's kind of why I did that. But oh, can you see the paw? Just above the chat here in the corner. He's having a good nappy nap after being a pain for like the last 20 minutes. But yeah, so these are out of just regular cardstock. I just made these. These are like out of 216 GSM. So I never remember the poundage. I think it's like a 90-pound cardstock, somewhere on there. Anyway, so these are some of her designs, and she has them in like all different sizes. Because if you think about it, a monstera has like smaller leaves at the bottom, and then it's got bigger leaves at the top. So I've still got to cut out a few more, but that's not what we're doing today. I wanted to actually finish one of these before we went live, but that didn't end up happening because, like I said, I ended up spending a little bit too much time eating dinner, and I got a little bit carried away. So these all line up very nicely, but now I got to remember which ones line up with which thingies. But like I said, that's not why we're here today. Today we're going to be doing the tests on the handmade paper. There we go. Is that the right one? Yes. Yeah, that looks like it. So then it would look, it looks so good. Anyway, we can do that while the stuff is busy cutting and like, kind of do two projects at once because I've got a fair few that I can do here. So during the crafting safari, which was, can you believe it, like 2 weeks ago already? Insane. Anyway, or just before the crafting safari, I made this paper. Now this is it's handmade paper that I made with cardstock offcuts. Now this particular piece of paper is like super, super thin, and I ran it through an embossing folder from my Panthera fundraiser bundle, and it looks so cute. It looks a lot better in person. Like it's difficult to pick up the relief, but I want to try and cut some of these so that I can use these as my monstera leaves. So I have to get the sizing and everything right on Design Space. As an example, I want to use this to cut this from. So I'm quite excited to try that. And it's going to look super interesting. Now, have I ever cut handmade paper on my Cricut? No. And that's why I kind of wanted to do this live stream today. Just making sure that we're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to show you how I test things and just, have a good old time. So let me pause that there. And I'm just going to open up my sound just to make sure, because Courier said that they're having sound problems, but I haven't noticed my microphone going on and off. So I'm hoping that if maybe you just refresh the stream, then it'll work. So what we're going to do, this is the biggest page that I have, but it's got a little bit of a crease. It dried on something. So unfortunately, it's got a little bit of a crease in the middle there, but that should be fine. Soft, loud, soft. Okay. I wonder why it's doing that. I wonder if I should try and use my other microphone. Okay, well, I'm glad that you mentioned that. That's important, because if you don't mention these things, then I can't fix it. So let's see. USB cable. No, that's USB-C. I can't use that one. I don't know if this will work. Amy says real leaves sometimes have divots in them, so it's fine. Exactly. But I'm not sure in terms of like the Cricut cutting it, how it's going to come out. So the Cricut might cut that a little bit more difficultly. And then, yeah. So it might be just when I turn my head that I'm talking away from the camera. That's when it's doing that. But let's see. Is it this one? Or is it that one? I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get this one on. Let me plug this in quickly. 1 second. It's muted on it was muted on StreamYard, because the moment that you plug in a new device, then it mutes it, which is intensely helpful when it comes to changing sound. Like, yes, I know that the sound, like I'm telling StreamYard, I know that I changed a device. You don't need to mute it. Is the sound a little bit better? Because it's on this one now. So it should be okay. Great.
just as the sound goes better, then it just like disconnects. I don't know why. Anyway, so I bought this one. Now this is also a handmade paper. I didn't make it myself. Just 1 second.
Okay. I think when I have both of them plugged in, it's a problem. So I'm just going to leave the original one in. It should be fine. Static. Okay, cool. So this is and thank you for letting me know that I'm glad that we can fix it like super, super quickly. Oh, thanks, Jen. Okay, so this is paper, also handmade paper, but not paper that I handmade. But it's done like through a company, manufactured and things like that. So when it comes to using this, you're far more likely to get like a more consistent weight throughout the paper, because that was the one thing that I found when I was making the paper myself. It was really tricky to keep the consistency and the thickness of the paper the same. So okay, this was an offcut piece. When I was finished making the paper, I kind of just poured all the water onto the page, and that's kind of why it looks all dimply and things, but I absolutely love this. So it's like, that's not a bubble, that's actual, like the paper is actually that thick. It's super cool, and it's a tiny little thin area in the top there. So I really like this. I actually don't want to cut it up. I want to use that for something else entirely. But because obviously I was new to making paper. I mean, this is the first time that I've made paper before. So if you guys are thinking about making paper, highly, highly recommend. It was such fun. I made so much, and the little screens were so cheap. They were, what is it, like $15 or something like that. It was really inexpensive, and you get 4 different screen sizes. So there's this size, that size, that size. I'll do it like that so that you guys can, well, maybe if I switch it around, put the big size there so that you can see it better. There, there, and there. So those were the 4 sizes of screens that I got. I must take the Crafting Safari little banner thingy off. But these were the 4 sizes that we got, all right, in the pack. So it was like $15, $16 for all 4 of these. And it was super easy to make. So you literally just blend up the water and you tear up your pieces of cardstock, soak them in water for a couple of hours. It's me, I cannot multitask. I don't know about you guys. I cannot do 2 things at once. The one thing happens and the other thing just, falls apart. That was me trying to turn the logo off because it's not Crafting Safari anymore, and I forgot to turn the logo off. So you put the paper in the water, blend it. I'm using an old blender that I no longer use, and they say that you shouldn't use it for anything else. I mean, I'm using acid-free paper, so I don't personally see, I mean, you probably shouldn't. There's other things in paper, but, anyway, so you shouldn't use it for food once you've been using it for paper. So they say. But, yeah, you blend it up, you put it in some water, and you take the screens, and you just go shoop, shoop, and then you have your paper. You let it dry. You sponge out the water, let it dry on a cloth. Super easy. But like I said, the one thing that I found tricky was getting the thickness of the paper the same. I mean, these two are relatively similar. This one's a little bit thinner. That one's a little bit thicker. This, I think that one of the pages was like super thick. Yeah, like this one you can't really see through, but it's, you know, like I said, it's difficult to get the paper consistency the same. So when it comes to cut settings on your Cricut, you're just going to have to kind of wing it and maybe rerun the cut a couple times if it hasn't cut through. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works. But I'm going to take this piece, because this piece has got a tear in it. I accidentally tore it when I don't remember what I was doing. But so I'm going to test on this piece, and I'm just going to test little like squares or circles or something like that. Because when you're doing test cuts, you want to make sure that you're testing small pieces and not just running the whole thing. I want to get the cut setting as close to right as possible, or, you know, like I said, we're just going to test it and play around. So I'm actually going to grab a fabric grip mat. Amy says, "Oh, Amy, that's a great idea. You should be able to get an old blender at the thrift store. That is absolutely fantastic. I love that idea." You want to do it from scratch? What do you mean rot the linen? Or cotton? Maybe get the linen or cotton and go from there. I'm crazy. Or do you mean like build the actual frame? So I'm going to use a fabric mat, just because it's a similar tack to that of a like a standard grip, but it's, I don't know, meant to deal with fibers or something like that. But I would recommend trying, maybe what I should do now that I'm thinking about it, because what I think is going to happen is that a lot of these fibers are going to come off and sit on your mat. You can clean them off, you can wash your mat, it's not a problem. But maybe what I should do is put some transfer tape on underneath so that I don't have to clean my mat. Let's do it on the mat. First try. Let's do it on the mat to see. No, this isn't. Oh, it is the page. Because I want to see how much paper actually comes off. What are the markings for on your mat? Oh, do you mean these? Are you talking about the silver thingies? I don't know. You put the fabric in a bin with water. You'd have to look up what else and stick it in your backyard. And then you stir it once a week until it breaks down, and you make, is that? Oh, so you did mean rot your cotton. That's interesting. That would be fantastic. Like, if you do that, let me know. That sounds fascinating. Coria, these are just from sticking things down. It's just washi tape. When I wanted to stick something down, I just used the washi tape to secure it on the mat. There's nothing strange about that. Like, instead of painter's tape, I just used the washi tape. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, in Cricut Design Space, just pull up, like, I'm going to put maybe a heart. I think I'm going to do a quick heart on Cricut Design Space. And I'm going to have it not too big, probably about just under an inch or so, maybe like 3/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to start off with, I think medium cardstock is going to be too high of a cut setting. So maybe I'll start off with light cardstock. And of course, because I've cut something with my Cricut now, it's taking forever to connect. Does that happen to you guys as well? When you've cut something with your Cricut, the next time you go back to cut something again, it takes like forever for the Bluetooth to connect. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I should have also used my Joy Extra for this. But I'm going to start off with the standard grip, the standard fine point blade. Let's just pull this over so that you guys can see. Sometimes, Karen. Okay. Because it's still it's still connecting. It's still like loading. I also don't remember it doing that a couple months ago. It's a little frustrating. But mine also does it all the time now. Well, not all the time. Maybe it's after like 3 or 4 cuts it does that. It's a little annoying. See, oh, you can't see my... Oh, there we go. Now it's connected. Oh, Emily, that's interesting. I didn't know that it would give you difficulties even though you're connecting via USB. Popular light cardstock. Okay, so our first test, light cardstock. I'm using the plain blade, nothing fancy. Let's see. First cut, let's see how it goes. Should have my rollers down. Updates, I know, Emily. Oh, no. It completely like destroyed it. Okay, so we know that was way too high of a cut setting because it dragged everything. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put it all the way down. So light cardstock, way too high. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the heart over here and I'm going to cut it on washi tape. When in doubt, cut on washi tape. Let's see. Washi tape or copy paper. Let's just try washi tape because washi tape is pretty much the lowest cut setting that you can get. Okay, let's just search. Oh, I must actually move the washi sheet. Edit. Okay. So all I've done is I've just moved the heart like to the next inch block over, and I've changed the cut settings to something that's very low just to see how this and if this will work. Because that's obviously why we are doing a test. No worries, Gloria. We're glad to have you. No. Look at that. Okay, so it's also still too high, which is interesting. The thing with this is, number one, like I said, the consistency of the paper you can't really get. But I really didn't want to have to, like, at least it's not sticking to the mat. So the paper isn't coming off or anything like that, which is good. The one thing that I really didn't want to have to try is the rotary blade, because the problem with using the rotary blade, I'm pretty sure it'll work, but that drastically reduces like the, what do you call it? The number of people that can make this. Could it be the edge where the paper is already wrinkled? No, because it starts in the middle there and goes down, and even that base part where there aren't, even this base part where there are no wrinkles, it's still lifting. So when your cut setting is too high, that's when it bunches up like that. So it's just the pressure that's too high on that, because the paper isn't like woven or anything like that. The fibers need to be cut differently, like I said, which is why I'm pretty sure that the fabric rotary blade will cut it. But that means that people with other machines won't be able to use it, which kind of sucks. I wonder if I had to put transfer tape over the top. And I know that sounds... Carol, you just got here, wanted to tell your experience with cutting handmade paper, seed paper. Yes, Carol. That's Corin. You and I we're on the same page. That's exactly what I was thinking. Because if you have something over the top of it, let's try. Because we've already got the plain blade in. I'm glad that we have the same idea. Okay, so I'm just going to use mint tape. So mint tape. I'm glad that you guys are all on the same page as me. Oh, we're all so clever. Look at us. Hey. So if you use transfer tape, we'll try washi tape first because it's, I don't know, a little bit more accessible. So, but obviously the problem with washi tape is that Fred wants to... Oh, Fred. No worries, Fred. Let's just... Cat paws all over my mat. That's fine. Aye, Fred. Okay, the problem with washi tape is that we're going to have a lot of strips to be able to cover the whole thing. So transfer tape, if we use like a low tack transfer tape... Fred, Emily says hi. Then, I don't know why I'm also even bothering with doing all of this. When I could just put like a tiny little piece there. Yes, Carol. Because he rules the roost here. You see, this is Fred's world. I just live in it. Okay, so I'm going to move the heart. I suppose I probably should have put the washi tape. I'll move the heart a little bit down so that it kind of goes on that area. And let's see. Tell your cat I said, pss, 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 pss. Cat, Fred, he actually looked at me when I did that. Emily says, pss, 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 pss. He's giving me the evil eye. It's quite cute. Okay, so let's move it down and over a little bit. Oh no, Carol. Susie, it's possible that it's the blade, but that's why I want to try. My blade is pretty sharp. I changed it fairly recently. Ooh. Okay, so that potentially worked, but we don't know if it's cut all the way through. Not really. Okay, you can kind of see. I mean, look at that. Just look at how red my hands are. That's so funny. So now, the moment of truth, are we able to get the washi tape or the mint tape off without damaging? Hey, look at that. Perfect. So that's the side that had the tape on it, which, I mean, doesn't look very different at all. And then the other side that was stuck down to the mat. That's pretty much perfect. But I do want to try a piece with, thank you, Irma. I do want to try a piece with transfer tape on it just to see, because I think putting little strips of washi tape would be a pain. But that is a really, really good cut. And then I also want to try this to see how that works. But Oh, I'm so glad, Susie. Emily says, oh, wait, hold on. In the US, there is a brand of painter's tape called Frog Tape. They have a yellow tape for delicate surfaces that works great for low tack transfer tape and would be bigger than the washi tape. That's interesting. I haven't heard of that. 1 second. That is very interesting. Oh, Fred. He's like pulling the camera. At least you can't really see, so that's fine. If you had something big or intricate, would it be worth using a washi sheet? That's a good question, Emily. That's exactly why I want to test the transfer tape. If you guys are watching me and you're seeing it wobble, it's because it's the cable is sitting on Fred's head. 1 second. Can't find my mouse. So the cable is sitting on Fred's head and he's busy cleaning himself. So if you were wondering why the camera keeps like moving, it's Fred. Okay, so no worries, Candy. Thanks for having us. I mean, thanks for coming. Sorry. Thanks for having us. You can tell, again, I can't multitask. Oh, press and seal would work as a transfer tape. That's definitely an option, Carol. That's definitely an option. Because like I said, I know that the rotary blade works, but the rotary blade can only be used in the Maker. So or the Maker 3 or the Maker 4. So if you have a Joy or Joy Extra or something like that, you wouldn't be able to cut it. And I don't want to, like, I would love to be able to do things where it's more accessible for everybody. Oh, that was horribly skew. So now if you're worried about the transfer tape, if you're worried about the transfer tape like ripping up the paper, then what you can do is just take your clothes and just, it's been out for like 2.5 seconds and it already has a curly hair on it. That's crazy. So just put it on your clothes a couple times and then it just reduces the tack on the page. So when you place it down, so I'm going to have to move it to the 4th inch line. I'm just making sure that it sticks. Let's see if this works. So then there's not as much of a strong tack on it. So let's load that up. No, Coria, it doesn't. The rotary blade is not meant for intricate cuts at all. And I don't know where that mat is. I'm pretty sure it's hanging up somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th line. So let's go over there. Just trying to make sure that I'm lining up the heart with where the transfer tape is. So the transfer tape is on the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th block. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 5th block. Maybe just move it up a little bit more. Okay. So let's cut that. And then I'll show you what that looks like. I'm so glad that you like the green paper. And yes, Emily, today Fred is definitely the tech goblin. I love it. A tech gremlin. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's okay. It all flies. Yeah, so like I said, Corey, it doesn't do the intricate cuts because it's a rotary, so it can, like, it's like your car. if you're turning in your car only has a certain turning circle. You can't just go, "Meow." And if you try and force that turning circle, then what actually happens with the mat is it kind of destroys the mat and it digs into it. So I know that kind of answered that, but I was also doing hand gestures over here. Well, more over there, but you couldn't see them, which is quite funny. Okay, so that also seemed to cut just fine. But let's take a look-see. Oh no, Laurie, that sucks. So what do you do to the cut settings when you add things to the top? Or do you add more pressure? I actually didn't change the cut setting at all. So this is still on washi sheet. So this is still on the lightest cut setting. Okay. It cut perfectly through the transfer tape. There's the transfer tape. And let's see. I mean, I could actually do a little bit more pressure because it didn't quite perfectly cut through. You can see there I kind of tore it a little bit. So in this case, I would put up the pressure, but I always just kind of start with a baseline and then adjust from there. So because this one didn't cut all the way through, I definitely would put it up. Maybe I'll move the heart and then do a more pressure setting, or just maybe a copy paper or something like that. You're unpacking your camper. Oh, shame. I'm sorry to hear that your pup isn't feeling well. The day before we were supposed to leave and had to come back early. Oh, that sucks. I hate it. I hate it when my pets are in pain and upset and not feeling well. It's just like I'm like a helicopter. Like, obviously don't have any kids, so I'm like a helicopter mom, and I'm just like watching their every move to make sure that they're okay. So I hope that she gets better very soon. Okay, so let's try copy paper, because copy paper, washi sheet is at a pressure of about 75. Copy paper is at a pressure of about 90. So I'm just going to move that over once again and click done. Let's just leave it on 90. Because I'd much rather prefer to use the transfer tape method than the washi tape method, the washi mint tape. Although mint tape is more biodegradable, so it's probably better for the environment. Okay. Have we been live for over half? Oh, that was way too high. No, was it? I don't know. Something got messed up there. So again, that was probably too high. So I think washi sheet is the right call for pressure. But because of the thickness of the paper and whatnot, it might just be a little bit tricky. Either that or it lifted up on that side because it's close to the edge. So because it's close to the edge, maybe it just lifted up. But it did cut all the way through, except for that little corner. So it must have been, I would say maybe copy paper with low pressure. Let's try that. And I think I'm going to try it. But that was different. I think I'm going to try it here. With the washi tape, because I don't want to, I suppose I've kind of gone all the way to that side anyway. But yeah, I suppose I can cut something on that side. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm overthinking this. I'm literally wearing the perfect hoodie. It's says overthinker that way. Literally, perfect hoodie. I didn't actually cover it. Time flies when you're having fun or crafting. I agree. Copy paper, less pressure, and then let's just move it a little bit away from the edge. Okay. I wanted to do an extra roll on that one just to make sure that it was stuck down, but it's fine. It's entirely possible that there could be a lump of paper right there where it's rolling. That's the difficulty with this kind of paper and using a regular blade and not a rotary blade, is that you're going to have some issues where it's going to clump and then not clump. You know, some places may cut through, some may not, because it's not perfectly level. Okay, so there. It seems to have cut perfectly on copy paper, less pressure. I think that's almost, see now the paper is actually starting to like transfer. I don't know, maybe if that was just me. Pressing it in too much. But I think we've pretty much got the right setting. I think copy paper is the right call because that's a pretty clean cut. I mean, as clean as homemade paper, handmade paper can be. So let's try and cut us a monstera. And then while I do, I can tell you about my vacation. So what I'm going to do now, it really cut really nicely, Laurie. I'm so chuffed. Because, see now, this is like me being, again, an overthinker. I think I'm just going to cover this with washi tape because, like, it's already, you know. So for those of you that may know, I went on a very short vacation. We were only gone for a couple of days. And we went on the garden route, as they call it, in South Africa. Oh, it was so gorgeous. It's like one of my favorite places. Actually, I lie. It is my favorite place. And in like the world, I think. I don't think I'm exaggerating if I say it's like my favorite place in the world. Not that I've been everywhere, but yeah, it's just so green and so peaceful and so lovely. Although there were lots of roadworks, which not a huge fan. But like, you know, it's unavoidable. And then I'm just going to cover up that little section there. Okay. And yeah, we pretty much did. If I tell you we did nothing, I wouldn't be lying, because we kind of just sat there, read books. I did some painting, some watercolor painting. It was like my first vacation in like 6 months or so. It was great. And yeah, it was really lovely. We had a great time to just relax and switch off, especially after the craziness of the event that kind of took over our lives for 2 months. I'll show you a photo now. I didn't want to double over on the tape. I realize I'm probably cutting through the paper, which is probably not that smart. So do you like the transfer tape or the washi better? That's a good question. Ooh, yes, Emily. There we go. I was trying to find my mouse. My mouse is on the other screen. Yes, it would work beautifully in a die cut, like a die cutting machine, because then you don't have to worry about, you know, tearing or anything like that. It would work a lot easier than what it would on the Cricut, to be completely honest. And as to which one I prefer, I don't know yet. I suppose that's another reason why this is a good test, because we're going to cut something bigger. I'm going to try and cut like a monstera that's that size-ish, and we'll see how that goes. And then we can get like a better, like a look-see as to which one cuts better. So all I'm going to do now is, oh, my bad. I'm going to measure this. Let's use the big ruler. So this is 20 centimeters tall by about 12 centimeters. And then it's about an inch down from the top. That's all the available cutting area that I have. So if I show you guys what I'm doing on Cricut Design Space, screen. Why? No, Canon. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to be looking that way, but you can see me through that side. So all I'm going to do is just add in a square, and what did I say? 20 wide. So let's go with just under 20. And then I said 12 high. $12.2. Yeah, 12. Let's go just under 12. Okay. Now I've got a couple of the monsteras on my canvas. And I want to cut one of the more simple ones. So I think that one's a good one to do. Detach. And then I want to delete that one. Bring to the front. So all I'm doing is I just want to make sure that it fits onto that little space there. So I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. We will have some like spare size. Okay, hold on. I just want to. There we go. So if I do that, if I duplicate another one, flip it. I just want to try and fill up the space if I can. I'm also getting cheeky because, I mean, I'm already pushing my luck with this design. And now to try and fit two of them onto the mat is doubly cheeky, I think. But you won't know unless you push the boundaries. Okay. There we go. So let's maybe just pull those down a tiny little bit. Okay, now we're going to attach them. So we're going to cut those two. Susie, I love your cheeky side. Yay, thank you. Okay, now Let's go back to the overhead. Does he? Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I think I'm actually going to tape this side down. Let's just want to use this mint tape because that keeps lifting up, and I'm worried that it's going to lift. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the designs so that they cut here. I haven't included that size, but now it is a little bit under the 1 inch. And I have pushed the boundary quite a bit there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it needs to be just above the 6-inch mark on Cricut Design Space. So on Cricut Design Space, we need to go here and there. I think it'll actually fit perfectly because the heart that we had was over there, just below that line. So it should theoretically just fit. Maybe even if we move that up a teensy tiny little bit. Okay, then I'm going to use the washi sheet setting with more pressure. I know I said copy paper with less pressure, but I want to err on the side of slightly less pressure just because I don't want it to tear. So let's go to the overhead. And then when we're done with this, we can test another one. And now also I don't have anything in that corner. Am I cutting something in that corner? There isn't really anything cut in that corner. So it should kind of cover there. Hold thumbs, everybody. Hold your thumbs. Wish me luck. Wish us luck. Because we're all in this together. Oh. Karen says, keep in mind you don't have one corner covered with washi tape. So that's where the transfer tape is. So it's going to be very interesting to see. You just kind of messed up that little corner there. It's going to be interesting to see the difference between the transfer tape and the washi tape, like how it kind of cuts. But I also want to do one that's completely covered. I had a little bit of a mess up there where the transfer tape and the washi tape joined. Okay. Not the best. Okay, so that one cut beautifully. Oh, you like hold your thumbs. Not a phrase you've heard before, but it makes sense. Oh, is that what you meant, Emily? Yes, yes. Yeah, so I think it's because a lot of times people used to say cross your fingers was bad luck. So then we used to say hold your thumbs. I don't know. And then I learned it when I was younger and it's kind of just stuck. Okay, so we got mixed results from the transfer tape and great results from the mint tape. So I don't know about you guys, but I feel like mint tape is the winner here, as much as it pains me because the mint tape method is not as fun to like apply. But I mean, the results kind of speak for themselves. I mean, look at that. Pretty much perfect cut. Questionable. But this was just due to them overlapping. So if I think we should give it a good try of completely covering it with transfer tape and then see how it does. More expensive too. So do you mean the mint tape method? Because mint tape is pretty inexpensive. It's only a couple of dollars for like a whole roll, but it is more of a pain. That's the problem. So I'm just gently trying to take this off. I think the mint tape stabilizes it better as well. Washi tape as well is also pretty cheap. You can get really decent washi tape, or you can get expensive washi tape, and then you can get like the cheap stuff. But this mint tape is designed for this kind of use. A lot of people use it with their die cutting machines. I think I got it from scrapbook.com quite a while back when my friends ordered from the US. So look at how beautifully this has cut. I do also want to try one that is on, what was I going to say now? I don't remember what I was going to say. My sentence just left me in the middle of my sentence. Oh, on the rotary blade. There we go. My sentence came back. Okay, so like we expected, there are some sections where it hasn't completely cut through, but like we said, that's because the paper isn't a uniform thickness. So all we do in those cases is just cut through those little sections where it's a little bit thicker. This is so much fun. Do they make a fatter mint tape? Oh, that's a good question. They probably do. Oh, it's actually tearing quite a bit at the back. They probably do. Try look on scrapbook.com, because that's where I got this one. It's literally just called mint tape. That's the name. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's more in the title, but if you search for mint tape, it'll definitely come up. I don't have a link because they have a 4-inch wide. Ooh, Marie with the big brain ideas. That is, or the big brain suggestions. I like that. Thank you, Marie. Maybe I should buy some. I bought 2 rolls. Or did I buy 4 rolls? I don't remember. But I almost never use it, actually. I don't know why. It's silly because I definitely should use it more, because this stuff is great. I almost wonder if you couldn't like cut this twice. So I wonder if I shouldn't do a washi tape cut setting that has the lowest of the low pressure that you could get, but then a double cut, kind of like what we do for cardstock for intricate cuts, because then it'll cut through a little bit more consistently. But I am just worried that by doing that, you're then on the second pass cutting through sections and maybe even tearing it. Okay, that one didn't cut through nicely because of the edge of the tape, but that's okay. You use it on scraps or else your Cricut will eat the paper. Oh, that's a great idea. I really like that. That's really smart. Okay, so obviously it is a little bit tricky to like separate from the main page, but I think it's so worth it. There we go. Oh, one little piece that didn't want to give up. Okay. Not perfect. Not perfect at all, but perfect for me. Perfect for me. Okay, now let's see how we're going to remove this tape. It's kind of torn it a little bit there. it's tearing. So I almost like it likes like tear on the edges a little bit more. So Gems Crafty Nana says, how do you dispose of leftover pulp when making paper? I don't dispose of it. So that's kind of what I did here. Was once the paper was all made, I just took the remaining water, put the mesh thingy, technical term, over the sink and poured the water into the mesh thingy. And that's kind of what just clumped up. It dried. I just left it to dry. And, ooh, Denise. So she just looked at scrapbook.com and they have a 4-inch mint tape and it's on sale for $6.99 instead of $18. Oh my word. Okay, I need to go check out after this live so that I can go and buy some. Well, if the shipping to South Africa is not too bad. We'll see. We'll see. Because I don't think that people in South Africa have quite caught on to those things yet. So I'm just gently pulling away the mint tape. Oh, that's probably not going to survive. That's quite a deal. $7 instead of $18. I mean, that's like 60% off. Thank you very much for looking, Denise. You may have saved a lot of people a lot of money. Okay, obviously it's curling it a little bit, but it's not really avoidable. I suppose if I pulled, like we do with our mats, if we try and pull the tape off the paper, then it may not curl. Thinking about shipping too, you've been finding postage to the UK is more expensive than the item. Wendy, that happens to me so often. Like, I really want to buy some magnets because I've just, for my birthday in April, I got a magnetic cutting mat, a cutting glass board, and I really want to get some magnets, but the magnets are like $2, and the shipping, I'm not even kidding you when I tell you that the shipping is $10 for something that is in the same city as me. Granted, it's like on the outskirts of the city, but like I'm not paying $10 shipping for a $2 item. It's ridiculous. We need to have someone organized like Shelly sending you a bunch of supplies. Shame, Emily. That's very sweet. No, I wouldn't do that. It's, for me, like I appreciate the thought, but it's classed as like a business expense. So it's like a, granted, the business has to make the money first before it can spend it, but at least I get to claim it on my taxes. And then I get to help people like you buy the things, because then I hopefully save you money too. So, but I am going to be visiting the US. Don't know when. But I'm saving up all of my Amazon gift cards that I get, so that when I go there, I can just go wild and go shopping. Okay, so again, not perfect, but I think what I might do is cut the stems or the little, like the inside pieces, cut those with cardstock to give it a little bit of like rigidity. But I think that looks so cute because it's obviously got all the texture of the handmade paper and the colors and things like that. It looks so, so good. And then if you don't like those little fuzzy edges, you can just grab some scissors and then just clean it up. If you want them like neat and tidy and things. You even pull the fluffers off. Oh, you won't be able to hear, but Fred is very gently snoring just right next to me. It's very cute. And the deeper in sleep he gets, the louder the snores become. That's so cute. And how are the taxes in South Africa? Do you know if they're as bad as the US? I know that you guys have been having a lot of tax issues lately, but we've always had that. So for us, it's like it's nothing. I'm so used to it, but we have to pay 10% import tax, 15% VAT, and then an additional, I don't know if it's instead of the 10% tax or if that's just like the baseline, but like on clothing, we have to pay 45% tax. So clothing is very expensive to import if you're shipping, but things like crafting and whatnot, it's like stationary, so it's not too bad. I think we only end up paying like 20%. So we end up paying about 35% extra. So yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. That's why I generally don't buy a lot of things from the US, because not to mention the shipping is horrifically expensive, but then you got to pay the taxes on top of that. So it costs, like if I have to buy something from Amazon, the shipping is like $35, and then they still charge you those other fees on top of it. So it becomes a little excessive. So it has to be something that I really want, like really, really want. But that doesn't happen very often. I think I'm like most people, where I'm really trying to be considerate about like how much I'm spending and what I'm spending my money on. Oh, interesting. It actually didn't really cut through on the transfer tape side. You can see that it didn't really. If you come here for a visit, do they hit you up at customs and taxes on things you bring back? Technically, yes, Marie, but that's only if you declare them. You are technically supposed to. I'm going to leave it there. But yes, I think when it's small things, like if you like, I'm not going to go overseas and go and buy, things to sell. Like I'll buy a few things I'll buy some Bailey Arts glue, because I really want to try some of that glue. Like everybody uses it and everybody loves it, and I'm definitely going to be taking some of my own glue to give out to people that I meet up with in the US when I go there, because my glue is the best glue. Not my glue. It's not like I make it. There's a brand that I really like here in South Africa. So I will definitely be taking a whole bunch of those with, and then coming back with glue and like a few trinkets and things like that, like for me to use. But so I don't know what the technical laws are. But technically, when it comes to like electronics and big purchases, you should be paying tax on that. When you visit Canada, you make sure to drink all my wine before crossing back. Oh, I must actually look to see if we can bring wine into the US, because I know that you can't bring meat products. I wouldn't be able to like bring you guys any biltong or anything like that. But I should be able to bring a bottle or two of wine, because we have exceptional wineries in South Africa. I mean, South Africa is known for its wine. And we have a specific type of red wine grape called a pinotage. That is my absolute favorite. Okay, so I'm purposefully leaving this one here so that I can pull the paper off a little easier and hopefully not curl. Oh, and Carol says, no wonder you're making your own paper. Actually, like, I think for me, not really. This is just something fun that I've always wanted to do. I think that maybe that's the ADHD coming out. And I've always wanted to make my own paper, and I just never got like the reason. So crafting safari was that reason for me. It just looks like such a fun process, and it really is. It really is enjoyable and fun. And we do have a lot of wine here in Niagara. Was that an autocorrect, or do you mean like Niagara Falls? Yes, Laurie, you would love it if you like red wine. Ooh, it's not like it's a pretty full-bodied red wine, and one of my favorites is called a chocoholic because it's got like those deep chocolate notes. Oh, it's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Okay, so this one didn't do as well in terms of the cutting. I almost wonder if you had to get like tape on either side. Niagara region, Ontario. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Niagara Falls, Niagara region. I'm trying to think, what are the falls? The Niagara grape. Oh, that's cool. See, that's why I love having people like you guys from all over the world, because we end up learning so much about all the different countries and like all the different things that you have, places that you have. Because when I was in Canada, I was way too young. I was 8. So like there's no number one, I don't really remember a ton of the things from when I was there, but you won't be able to know things like grapes and wine and things like that. This actually works really well. So I'm essentially using instead of cutting down, I'm cutting across with my craft knife just around the border. It seems to be working quite a bit better. Jackie, there is still sound on my side. I can see the little thingies. Maybe it dropped out for just a moment. If anybody else doesn't have sound, let me know. That's quite cool. That works really well. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. So, I mean, obviously this isn't like a super quick craft, but we don't always have to do super quick crafts. But I do think that maybe the paper was just a little bit thicker here than what it was on the other side. And it's definitely going to be, like the edges are going to be a little bit choppier. Accidentally muted. Shame. Either that or Jackie is watching from the beginning of the stream when we were having sound issues. I should probably see if I can disable that setting. Because technically you can like join the stream and then watch from the beginning, but there is a setting to disable that so that people don't rewatch while the event is on or while the live is on. But I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally muted something. Especially when I start typing, but I have YouTube selected and I'm busy working on a different window. What am I doing? Oh, okay, that is quite close together. That makes sense. Yeah, so sometimes what I'll do when I'm watching a live stream and I need to like run away from my computer for a moment, I'll pause it. And then when I come back, I'll put it on 2 times speed so that I can catch up and then rejoin on when the video is live again. Okay, That's the base, which did not come out all that well. Now, this part pretty much didn't cut at all. I can barely see it. So I think I'm just going to cut something. I actually saw me do this with my scissors. That's exactly what I was thinking, Karen. Put transfer tape. I was thinking it. I don't know if I mentioned it out loud, but that's exactly what I was thinking, to like sandwich it in between transfer tape and then see how it works if it cuts out cleanly, because I would not make too many of them if it's going to take this long. But also, like, if you're at a crafting weekend or something like that, then this would be such a nice craft to do, because it's very slow and intentional and therapeutic and whatnot. So we lost a bit of the base. Again, not the cleanest result, but I mean, when it comes to handmade paper, you also keep in mind that this is super intricate. So if you were cutting like squares or circles or basic shapes, you could get a much cleaner result. But because of the fact that this is quite intricate and we are kind of, pushing the letter a little bit, the edges are going to be a little bit rougher. I also wonder if you had an Explore Air 2, if that would work better, because the Explore Air 2 is a slower cutter. It cuts at a slower speed. So while you can't control the speed on your Cricut, if you use a machine with a slower speed, maybe that would also make a difference. Wendy says she thinks it looks lovely with the rough edges. I agree. It does like look kind of cool. I say that while I'm busy trimming all of them off. I prefer it with the sharper edges. Oh yeah, that was where I cut through. I prefer it with the crisper edges, but it all depends on what kind of look that you're going for. Like, there's the option to do both, which I think is super cool. So now you could recycle this again if you wanted, or chuck it. It's totally up to you. Let me just wipe this down quickly. So there are our two. Like I said, they are pretty intricate. Vicky says she came in late. So yeah, neither do I. It's handmade, so it's fine. Laurie says stencil. You could if you had a dauber, but otherwise I don't think it would work very well. I do still want to try it with the rotary blade. So let's actually just try. Let's try the blue paper while we still have the fabric blade in. I mean the regular blade. Let's try it with the blue paper. Okay, this is pretty consistent thickness all the way through. So I'm just going to tape it right to the edges. And I'm going to use my brayer. This is a lot thicker. The caterpillar's got hold of the leaf. I love that, Delvine. Okay, so this is a lot thicker than the one that we've just cut. And I'm just going to reuse some of these because, why not? And what I'm going to do is cut this on, what? Should we do test cuts again, or should we just kind of go ham and do a light cardstock? What do you guys think? Should I follow the rule and always do a test cut, or should I just throw caution to the wind? So let me know if you want caution, test cut, or throwing caution to the wind. Karen says test cut. Okay. Alison also says test. Oh, Wendy also says, okay, I'm outnumbered. That's fine. That's fine. I love it. You guys are cautious. Amy says go for it. Okay, let's go done. I suppose the test cut wouldn't actually take all that long, so like it's fine. Okay, make, and you guys are right anyway. We should do. A couple of you said throw caution to the wind. I like it. Go for it. Okay, but we got a lot of test cuts in the beginning, so I'm gonna do a quick test cut on this one. And continue. Let's load this in. That's true, Wendy. I've got a lot of it though, so I don't mind too much. Let's go popular, light cardstock, and then we can go. I mean, like, also the thing is, like, a test cut takes so quick. So oh, Fred is having a good old nap here. I mean, that's pretty cool. It definitely didn't cut all the way through. But if I had to cut that on cardstock for intricate cuts, that would probably work really well. So that was on light cardstock. Let's go edit and let's move it a little bit further away. Done. Cardstock for intricate cuts. And then let's just secure that down again. Carol, most of you guys are from the US. So I think, according to YouTube statistics, about 60% are from the US. I agree, Irma. It's such pretty paper. Okay, that's a much better cut. A little bit of tearing. But I mean, again, considering that it's not uniform paper and that it's actually like handmade, or that's pretty darn good. Look at that. Eventually, when it focuses. Pretty good. Pretty good. And this is just one little section where it was just a little bit thicker than the rest. Okay, so I want to do another 2 on this paper. So this paper is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 inches by, I think it's A5 essentially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, A5. Where is the mouse? Okay, so we got that cardstock setting correct. Let's do. So I'm just adding another block. I'm doing essentially the same as what I did to the canvas earlier. Let me change it to freedom units. Width, what did we say, was 8 inches. 8. And the height was 6. It's just over that, but it's fine. Okay. I know you can't see. I'm just rotating the monsteras on my screen. And the problem is that they are like odd shapes. So they don't fit nicely in like a rectangle. So there's going to be a ton of like leftover negative space. Okay. But now, one, two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's fine. Oh, that's going to cut a tiny bit off the edge there. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you guys also like count things a million times before you cut them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just over the 8 line. Oh, that edge is going to cut off there. There. Okay, let's try medium cardstock for intricate cuts with a little bit less pressure. I know that sounds counterintuitive because it didn't cut through on the one section. I'm just measure twice, cut once, and it's usually still wrong. I like literally, I think a couple of weeks ago, I put up a post, like a joke post on my Facebook page, and it was something like measure 3 times, cut still wrong. It's literally like the story of my life. Ooh, Karen with the big brain ideas, you are the MVP because that is exactly where they were going to cut had you not said that. So this successful cut is due to you, Karen. Thank you for the reminder. Let me just rotate that quickly. And I'm somewhere going to mirror it so that they cut on the opposite corner. See, Karen, this is why we keep you around. Love it. You are chef's kiss today. That's another reason why I don't like doing test cuts, because then I'm going to mess up something like that. Okay. And we cut. And we see. Oh, didn't like that. Didn't like that. Okay, I'm going to pause it after this one. Really didn't like that. Completely destroyed. But it's fine, because this is why we test things and this is why we play around with them. So maybe what I will do, I mean, like you see, again, part of it cut beautifully and the other part was just like, nope. Does say. I wonder if we can still salvage that. Probably not. Marie, it's just to keep the material down on the mat. Like you would sometimes use painter's tape. That was just what I had available at the time when I used this mat, which was quite a long time ago. I'm sure we could probably still salvage that, but that, maybe what we do is we get the transfer tape out again, and then we increase the cut setting, and we try it with transfer tape. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to do this away from the microphone because it's really loud and annoying. And I just about gave Fred a heart attack. Sorry, Fred. Okay, so what we can do with this piece to try and resolve it or get it. See, the problem with this paper is that it's a lot chunkier. So when it comes to cutting it, you're far more likely to like get things, get the blade stuck because there are more chunks. Like if you look at that, you can see how uneven it is. Okay, granted, that's me now pressing it in with my nail. But yeah, it's far more likely to hit a snag like that and then completely derail. So it's going to be interesting. Like I'll cut this side, this one, and then we can see how it works. Let's see. But I am going to need to edit the design. So let's cancel. Make. Okay, so that is in the first 2 squares. So we pull that down. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just over the 6-inch line. Go there. Okay. Let's see. Maybe we do a light cardstock. Is that rain? Is that rain that I hear? I'm also going to pull this off because that will cause issues in the machine if I let it run rampant. That not so much. Aye, Fred. Can you tell me why the mats will bend upwards after using? Do you mean like on the edges, on these sides? Thanks for joining, Amy. Because if it's on the edges, they curl because of the pressure. So the rollers grip the mat here. And after extended use, it kind of presses the plastic down together and it squishes it out. And then it just divots up. So it's a... I would say it's a feature, but it's not really. But yeah, it's difficult because I mean it is plastic and it does have a lifespan. So you should replace it after a certain time. As much as we want to have one mat that we're going to use kind of forever. Is there a fix? No, unfortunately not. So Nicole says homemade paper is like construction paper. Maybe that setting would work. I'm going to check that out. But I also wonder if that's not a rotary blade setting. And I'm trying to see if I can cut it without a rotary blade. I have a rotary blade. I can use it. And I know that it'll come out fine. But I'm trying to get a cut setting that doesn't use the rotary blade. so that those that don't have a maker can also cut it. That's why I said today is just going to be like a fun test and things like that. Laurie says they don't last long enough. Oh, sorry. The camera's like completely to the side. So I was like holding my breath because I was watching it cut. It didn't do too badly with the transfer tape on the top. A few little sections where it kind of tore a little bit in the corner here. I doubt it cut all the way through though, because I suppose it cut fine. Where's my... Oh, there we go. It cut fine on the one test that we did with the heart. No, it didn't. But let's see. No. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to... It didn't cut because I used the light cardstock setting again. I just rather control the number of passes it's going to do. So now I'm just pressing the Cricut button and I'm going to run the cut again. Tootsie Roll. I like the way that's spelled. That's cool. Yeah, her monstera video was great. I need to... There's a couple of... Sorry, we spoke about my multitasking skills, which are non-existent. Yeah, I think this paper on the Cricut is not going to be a good idea. I mean, look at that. It's like the second pass. It's kind of like you have to do it on one pass, but I wonder if it's not still going to be too thick because it won't actually cut all the way through. Okay, let's... Fred was trying to help just like my shepherd. I know, they're so helpful. I love it. Now he's tired from being helpful, so now he's taking a nap. And then Susie, I saw you ask earlier on if my husband is liking his new job. I don't want to speak for him, but I hope so. It's challenging, but I've just loved having him home. It's so nice. And he's really, really doing a great job making my life a lot more pleasant. You're much better than I am at multitasking, trying to craft while watching and keep getting distracted. That's me too, Carol. That's why I like to listen to audiobooks while I work or craft with anything like that, like design work and whatnot. Because with audiobooks, I don't have to like keep looking up. And yeah, you see, like here, there's like a big knobby thing there where it keeps getting hooked. So this paper would work beautifully with die cuts. So if I had to run it through, no, actually it didn't work with, oh, that was embossing folders. It might work with die cuts because it is pretty, yeah, it should. You may need to run it through once or twice, but you would need to do this on the rotary blade. I think that you're going to really struggle to cut this on the regular blade. I mean, this, in all honesty, this didn't do too badly, but these corners are not all that great for the rotary blade. So if you had to do this cut on the rotary, you might find these little tight corners are going to dig into your mat. No, Marie, I haven't. I can't imagine many would. But it's a fun crafting thing to do. And maybe some people would be inspired to make their own paper by seeing just how easy it is. There we go. And like we were speaking earlier about some of you like the fuzzies, some of you don't like the fuzzies. I'm not the best, the favorite. Fuzzies are not my favorite. What if you put masking on both sides of the paper? You probably could, Sonia. You probably could. But I think it's more, I don't think it's so much that. It's the fact that the paper is uneven. So when the blade drags through it, it's like when you're raking up the leaves in your garden. You can only rake up the top layer of leaves, but when you hit a stone, you can't like rake up leaves easily. And that's kind of the blade and the rake and the stone are the same, and the paper are the same kind of things. I hope that makes sense. You printed a mold and decal on your 3D printer and you're interested if it'll actually work. Ooh, that's exciting. If my 3D printer were working, that would be a great idea. Because then you can make custom shaped paper. That is a great idea. And I'm going to call you Gems, even though it says Gems Crafty Nana. So Gems is probably your granddaughter, I think. But that is a great idea. Just another reason why I should fix my 3D printer. I hadn't even thought of that. I love that. See, there's just so many fun things you can do with crafting and 3D printers. Your husband wants a 3D printer. He's been looking at them for a year now. It is the most complicated piece of technology I have ever owned in my entire life, but it is also the most versatile. And it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And they're a lot more accessible. I think I bought mine 3 or 4 years ago. It's been broken for well, I say broken. I just need to change 2 of the cables. It's been out of action for about 1.5 years. See that part? Didn't cut properly. But now I really want to fix my printer because now I want to make a custom paper thingy. There we go. Look at how cool that is, you guys. It kind of looks like felt. Have you tried putting seeds in paper? You're making favors for a baby shower using the seed paper I bought. Thought it was such a cute idea to grow wildflowers. I agree, Carol. I mean, I haven't tried the seed thing because this is the first paper that I've made. Not this one. I bought this one. But it's definitely something that you can do. I know it's very popular, like wedding favors, wedding invites, all that kind of stuff. Very, very popular to try. So let's put this aside. Yeah, so that's those ones that everything's skew. Every time a new machine comes out, you want to try it first. I know, me too. The Eufy Maker UV printer and now the X-Tool M2 printer and laser machine. I know. I would love those as well, but again, because I'm in South Africa, it's just not financially viable. But I like how accessible lasers are becoming these days. They are really, really becoming accessible. I wonder, should we cut Laurie? I mean, seeds, it depends on how it was stored. If it was stored airtight, the seeds will probably degrade after a while and not, but maybe, I mean, I don't know. If anybody knows, maybe they can tell us. What I want to try do is I want to try and cut the inside pieces and then actually finish this off. At least one of them. So let's click done. And now let's click upload. Oh, I suppose they are the same. Yeah, Laurie, it definitely, like Carol said, it definitely can't hurt to try, because the worst thing that can happen is your seeds won't grow. I suppose if you want to save the paper, then you'll lose the paper, but not the end of the world. Delete. Okay, I just want to measure this because, of course, I've now re-measured everything. Let's say this is about okay, so if the design is like that, then from the top of there to the bottom of there, it's probably about 12 centimeters. This is probably not going to line up. But that's also okay. This is just a fun test after all. Okay, so let's do the same for this one. So from the top of there to the bottom, 10.5 centimeters. Oh, wait. Sorry, I'm just trying to, again, we've established that I can't multitask. Delete. Delete. No. Oh, feathers. Seriously? I don't know about you guys, but Cricut is driving me nuts today. It's probably like a me thing, like I'm not doing the right things. What did we say? 10.5. 10.5. 10.5. Like I'm not doing the right things, which is why my Cricut design space is driving me nuts. Anyway. I'm just trying to cut out the, excuse me, little pieces of the inside, like the veins. And I'm going to need a scrap piece of cardstock for that. So that scrap piece of cardstock is going to be 15 by 13 centimeters. And I have my cardstock scrap. Now we can match up a color. Should we go darker or lighter? So I think like this kind of olive green color could look really nice for the veins. So what do you guys think? Should we go for a darker veins or, oh, okay. Leslie O'Brien, Courier also says darker. Because obviously we have lots of options. That's a lighter color, which could look quite nice. And also I like how you guys are all saying that that Cricut's also driving you crazy. Okay, so almost everybody's saying the olive color. Let's just check to see if this piece is big enough or if I need a different piece. That's 16 by 14. And what did we say? We need 14.8 by 12.5. So this piece will be big enough. Great. And the reason, you guys, can you see how my scraps... Okay, well, this side of my scraps, more accurate. Look how everything is cut into squares and nice, easy blocks. And do you want to know why? It's because I cut off all the little off-cut pieces and those went into my paper. So the fact that I have all of these nice, easy squares to look through for projects like this and just how easy it is to actually get a nice piece of cardstock, it makes my scraps so much more mentally easier to maintain. Well, this pile of my scraps, because this is the only part, and I've started with my blues. As you can see, the other side of my green I've also started with, but wow, I'm not lying when I tell you it makes my scraps so much more mentally approachable. Like all of those rounded pieces like this, as an example. So what I'll do with this... Oh, welcome, Diane. Now this, for me, is a very intimidating scrap piece, right? But all I did... Let's tear it there. Let's tear it off there. Was you cut off these little pieces here. Cut it off that side. And yes, you do lose a little bit, but this is so much more of a manageable piece than that, because now I can very easily see how big the piece is and what I need to put on there. And this will go into a pile to be blended and made into paper. Like, it's just so much easier. Anyway, that's not what I'm doing right now. Focus, Gilly. Focus. I'm getting distracted, you guys. Trying to see what weight this cardstock is. I don't trust the grippiness of my mat at the moment, so that's why it's got tape everywhere. Cool cutter. Thanks, Anne. I love, that's my Tim Holtz 8.5-inch trimmer. I use that thing more than anything else. I know that I really don't need to do this, but these pieces are super intricate, so I want to make sure that I'm giving it the best possible chance of cutting properly. One, two, three, four, five, six. One, two, three, four, five, six. So it's just over 6 inches, which is fine. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just over 5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that piece of cardstock is actually perfect. Okay, continue. Cardstock for intricate cuts. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. Cricut had an update maintenance last night. Oh no, Carol. I hate it when that happens. That sucks. Yeah, they did. That's interesting. I wonder if that's a flaw on the SVG. Anyway. Yeah, it's like everything's jumping all over the place, and it's a little bit of a strange. It's in a little bit of a strange place at the moment. So, worms, get out my craft mat. Here I am sitting, looking pretty, trying to. Oh, there we go. Because we're going to work with Mod Podge. I could use my mat. My So this is why you don't take the tape off and then start moving things around. Just taping my mat down to my desk because it's curly. And then my paintbrush. Where did I put my paintbrush, you guys? There we go. Right behind me. Yeah, I hate it when it does that, like in the middle of a project, especially when it's a project that you've spent a lot of time on. And like typically, you don't save as you go along. So like it makes it even more of like a heartache when that happens. I'm pretty sure this cut properly. I'm just going to check. Yes, it cut beautifully. It is a beautiful day. 10 points if you know where that is from. What movie that's from. I say that to my husband all the time. I think I even did it this afternoon at some point. Said something. Don't remember what it was. It is a beautiful day. Okay. Okie dokes. Now, see, this is varnish, so I technically shouldn't use this one. She used Podge or Mod Podge. I agree. Is it Corrie R or is it Corrier? because that's how I read it in my mind. Because I don't want to keep saying it wrong. Okay, so it's going to be that way. See, these might actually be too big. Maybe my measuring skills were not all that great. I think it is rain, you guys. It sounds so nice. You don't watch a lot of movies, so you have no idea where that phrase came from. It's from Bruce Almighty. It's the one where he meets God and he gets all of the, God gives him all his powers to show him that it's not super easy being omnipotent. Okay, so my sizing was obviously completely off. And okay, so Corrie R. Okay, cool. I'll try and remember that. I didn't. So these files are from Abbi Kirsten's Craftfest. So Craftfest, Flowerfest. So if you haven't signed up, it's starting in 2 days' time. So I'm kind of playing around with some of the files and things like that with the VIP pass, and this is one of them. I'm not sure which day this one goes live. I think I might actually watch Bruce Almighty when I get into bed. Yeah, I think that's good enough. And then I'll just cut off one or two of the other pieces because I resized the one. This is why you should always resize things together, because I didn't do that. And then you sit with this as a problem, which not really a problem, but like it's annoying unless this one fits perfectly with that. Because I got the sizing wrong. This one, pretty much perfect with this one. June 6th. Oh, great. Thank you, Leslie. And then this one, I'm going to have, no. See, that makes it a little bit. See, I mean, technically I could just cut all of those little edge pieces off and like make it work, but I think this one will fit that a bit better, because this is supposed to go on this one technically. Yeah. Okay, I'll just leave it the way it was. No problem. Thanks for coming. You're doing the Garden Dutch Iris. Ooh. You've heard of that movie, but you haven't seen it. Is it Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey, yeah. Carrey. I don't remember. You and I both. That's fine. Okay, so this is just Podge. Nothing exciting. I'm doing mine differently to how she did hers, but because I'm lazy. So I'm obviously not going to go through all of the steps super in detail because this is her tutorial, and I'm just going to show you. Did I put it on the wrong side? I think I did. Guys, here's me just messing everything up all the time. Also, it just shows you that even if you make a mistake on a craft project, it's okay. Doesn't mean that your whole craft project is ruined because you've made a little mistake. Everything is figure-outable. Exactly, Corin. We just turn it over and we just do it on the other side. It's totally, totally fine. And now, did I do it again? See, because I've done this so small, it's actually kind of tricky to work with. Let me use my weeding tool, because then I can get it into position. There we go. And this isn't the way that she suggested doing hers. So just know that if you follow her method, it will turn out better. I'm just doing mine a little bit differently. Because I like things difficult, apparently. I'm also trying to see if it fits. Okay. Here we go. I'm also interested to see how the podge is going to react and recolor. Oh, okay. Alrighty then. I'm interested to see how the paper is going to react to the podge. Apparently not all that well. So, see, it's given like a slightly bluish hue to it, which is quite interesting. And then I'm just going to cut off those pieces that kind of stick out over the edge, because like a chop, I didn't resize everything at the same time. I also kind of like the idea of the podge changing the color on the inside. Carol, it's just cardstock. I just cut it out of cardstock. And of course, you have to make sure that you're signed up to the free event, totally free, if you want to grab these files. So these files, I think Carol let us know that they would be on the 6th. So make sure that you are checking your email. You can search for Abbi Kirsten in your email if you didn't get it on the day. I know from my own event that sometimes these emails go to the wrong boxes. They go to promotions, because like email platforms hate us, and they really like bringing us problems and things like that. So sometimes the emails just end up in funny places. Even though they are definitely there, they have definitely been sent, they sometimes end up anywhere else other than where they should be. Yes, Mod Podge is great. I think also a lot of people use gel medium instead of Mod Podge because they are very interchangeable. Gel medium works as a fantastic adhesive. So if you don't have Mod Podge, you can probably just use gel medium. Really? Really? Oh. Okay, well, let me use the offcuts of this. It's not like I need to hold my hand. Oh, you guys have already signed up. Yay! I Can't wait. I can't wait to see what you guys make. Please post it in her Facebook group as well. I love seeing all of your crazy things, crazy good creations popping up. Okay, so we're going to let that one dry. I purposefully didn't pull the Mod Podge all the way to the ends because I kind of like the discoloration a little bit. Maybe I should do a better job at it though, because I think it's kind of a little bit rough around the edges. No pun intended. Oh, Fred is curled up in a lovely, comfortable position. And I know that monsteras don't have like actual, variegated leaf color like this. Like if they have variegation, it won't really be like this. But I think it's still fun to kind of play around with color and things like that. Okay, so let's try the other one. Maybe we do this one slightly differently. Corey says it looks more real. Yes, I agree. Okay, so maybe what I'm going to try with this one is line it up, lift it up, tack it down. No. Line it up, lift it up, tack it down, and then mess it up. Oh my gosh. Okay, we know roughly where this is going to go. So let's just tack that down there. Push it over just a tiny bit. I technically should do some underneath, but I'm having a difficult time. If I put it down there. Here we go. I'm glad that you guys are having fun. How many of you use stencils? I'm busy working on a stencil project because I'm pretty obsessed with stencils at the moment. I don't know if you've been able to tell. And I just want to know how many of you enjoy also enjoy stencils as much as I do. Love stencils. Oh, that's good. What do you use stencils for, Karen? I tend to use them for like the same things over and over. So like embossing and things like that, which I mean is great, but there's just so many other things that you can use stencils for. Tan's Crafts just started making some. That's exciting. Expression says use stencils and make them with your Cricut. Good, good. Susie, haven't played much with stencils. You want to? Karen, backgrounds and embossing. Laura, you need to dive in and use them more. You love them with ink, but you want to explore more mediums. Yes, because you can use it with so many different things, and they are so versatile. I'm just trying to podge this down. Love stencils for making cards. Yes, yes. There is, if you guys are on my email list, then there's something super fun launching tomorrow that you will be able to check out for stencils and birthday cards. I know that I've shown it a few times in like other live streams and things like that, but it's the card making with SVG's summit, Elena's summit, that's getting going live tomorrow. So make sure that you check out your emails so that you can sign up for that, because that project of mine is super fun. Oh, I love this with the handmade paper, you guys. I almost don't want to like, it's so soft with the handmade paper. The big, like the exposure and things like that, the color correction is just a little bit too, I don't know why. Set the color temp, no. There we go. No, Susie, it launches tomorrow. So you can start signing up. The event, sorry if I wasn't clear, the event is at the end of the month, the free event, but you can sign up for it. You can start signing up for it tomorrow. Now I just want to make sure that the Mod Podge is just a little bit smoother, because the Mod Podge changes the color of the paper. I just want to make sure that I've got, like, we need to spread these out more. Yeah, no, like I said, Carol, sorry if I wasn't clear. It goes live, so you can start signing up, but it's only actually at the end of the month. So I also sometimes cringe when there's like 2 or 3 things on at the same time, because I know how difficult it must be for you guys to like sign up and all of that. So I mean, I get overwhelmed sometimes when there's just one event on at the same time. I totally understand. I think also, like, with the more Mod Podge I put on the inside, I mean, I don't know, is it going to discolor the page more, or is it just discolored because it's wet, you know? The Scrapbooking Fun Summit is tomorrow, I think, yes. I'm not in that one, so I'm not really, but I think I remember something Brandy sent out about that. Yeah, I'm also just worried about this one, because obviously the more moisture you put on the page, the more the page is likely to tear. So I'm just going to try and keep the moisture on the page to a minimum. But I need to make sure that the stuff is sticking down. Okay. Fred has now said it's time to leave. Oh, that's a good question, Leslie. Fredness, do you want to jump off? Oh, sorry. Hold on. I mean, it's still wet, so it'll probably take quite a while to dry, but the other side, a little bit of the color leaking through. Not too bad, but that'll probably dry quite solid. And then that one has a little bit more of the moisture leaking through. So that's interesting. If that is the case, then please make sure that you reach out to the organizers so that they know about it as well, because it might be things that they don't know about that they need to fix. Yeah, because that's not, I know that sometimes we don't intentionally want these things to happen, but maybe they happen by accident or something went wrong. And yeah, so these are quite cute. I'm very excited to see what they look like when they're dry, and I can share results with you. I do want to just try one of these. My nails match the project. Thanks, Susie. Me too. Okay, now I gotta remember which ones went with which ones. But I mean, also you can quite easily see. No. No. I think it was this one. Yes. Okay. So let's just put. Yes, these are the nice big ones. So these are the ones that I cut out of cardstock. And these ones line up perfectly because I did the correct thing and cut them with their size, correctly. So just tacked down the base. And now what I'm going to do is line this up. Just place some Mod Podge. Let's see. There we go. Do you do your own nails? I used to, Corey, but now I actually go and have them done. I can do my own nails, but it was just taking me too long. It would take me like between 4 and 6 hours to do my nails, because obviously you've got to like sand everything off yourself. And, when you're working with your left hand, my left hand is not as smart as my right hand. So then it takes you a little bit longer and, all of that kind of stuff. So it just kind of got a little bit out of hand where I was just constantly running behind and struggling to keep up with everything. And now I go somewhere and an hour and a half later, my nails are done. Yes, it cost me a little bit of money, but it's well worth the time that I get back. So I'm quite chuffed. And obviously then she gets to do fun stuff like this. I did this for my little holiday vacation that I had. So they're super cute. I quite like them. She did a great job. Oh, now I did this to use up the Modge or Modge. I've totally just put Mod Podge and Modge into the same sentence. I did this one to use up the Mod Podge that I had. Let's not oversaturate it. Let's quickly spread that out. And also, the lady that I go to is an actual trained lash tech, nail tech. So while I can do my own nails, I'm capable, fully capable. She knows it better than I do. So I am in the era of trusting the professionals so that I can get more work done. And it seems to be working out quite nicely. I'm not always going to do nail art because it takes like an hour longer, and it's obviously a little bit more expensive. I mean, it cost an extra like $13 or something like that to do nail art. So it's not crazy expensive, at least for you guys in the US. But it's not something that I like. I like my plain nails as well. It's also a lot easier to keep like the footage consistent if my nails look the same than if they're chopping and changing colors and things like that. Not like that's actually like an issue, but I definitely should have done this on the non-textured side. Okay, looks like I had just enough Mod Podge, Modge, as I like to call it, apparently. Ooh, look at that. Okay, now it's obviously going to need to take a while to dry. Use nail wraps. Oh, that's interesting. It'll obviously change. See, now it comes out a little bit brighter than what it actually is. Like, this is like a forest green, but it's coming out a little bit lighter on the screen, which is interesting. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I mean, what I could always do, I probably could like color it if I don't really like the color of this, these inner sections. I can always just pull out an ink and just change the colors. Again, like I said, I should have probably done it on the non-glossy side. I mean, the non-textured side, like the smooth side. But I think it still looks great. I love her designs. I love her projects. They're just so fun. And look at how much fun we had. And I can still make all of those. I will use a bigger brush because this brush, I think, was a little bit too small. It was fine for the smaller pieces, which is obviously what I intended it for. But for the other ones, it was a little bit too small. Yeah, great. So I think that I'm going to leave that there. I hope that you guys have signed up for Flowerfest, and I hope that you guys have fun at Flowerfest. It is going to be great. And make sure that if you do grab the VIP pass, then check out the upsell on it as well for the other event, because last year's was phenomenal. The year before that was probably my favorite. I think that was the crepe paper one. I have a ton of crepe paper that I still need to play with, so I will probably do that at some point. So if you see deals to sign up for the previous ones, and if you can afford it, then highly recommend it because they're a lot of fun. But otherwise, the free event is going to be a hoot of fun, and I hope that you guys have the best time. So thank you guys. I agree, Delvine. Flowerfest is literally one of my favorite. Like, I also feel like it's difficult because I keep saying that for every event, like it's my favorite, But I'm so excited because they're all like, I genuinely love them. The creativity and everything is just amazing. So thank you guys so much for joining. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for playing around and having fun. I hope that you guys had a great time. I know I did. And yeah. Oh, Gloria says the first Flowerfest for her. Ooh, say that 10 times fast. So excited. Good, good. I'm glad. Great. Thanks very much, everybody. I will see you all very soon. For the channel members, we will see you next week, Tuesday. We will have our channel members only live stream. I will see you all same time next week. Everybody else, I'll see you in the next live stream. And remember, be kind to someone today.